GCPD, The Blue Wall, issue 4, John Ridley writing with Stefano Raphael on the art. Connor, you've been reading this, right?
I have. Yeah, I had to read 2 issues today, but yes.
That's fine, but you're caught up and you've read this issue.
I am, yeah.
And this issue takes a bit of a dark turn by the end, which I did not see coming.
Oh man, that last couple of pages. Ooh.
Yeah. So obviously we had our 3 main characters. Well, there's 4, including Renee, but we know Renee. Montoya's like our sort of anchor character that we already know and care about. We've got these 3 rookie cops. One, Eric, who's leaving. He was a parole officer. And he has kind of an awkward moment with Ortega, who's the other one who shot the guy that he was like an officer for. They have like a quiet, awkward moment in the hallway, but otherwise he's not in too much of it. He talks to Park a few times at their sort of regular meeting, which notably, she talks to. No, he doesn't go. He's the one that's missing from that meeting.
He's the one that's absent because he's quit. Yeah.
So he doesn't even go to those meetings. He doesn't want to be around them. So there's kind of a sad air to this. And I feel really bad for Montoya, because Montoya's story in this issue that, like maybe she is being too doom and gloom. Maybe she can get over this. She chooses not to drink anymore. She tells the bartender,
killed a goldfish, so they give her a dog.
Yeah, and she tells the bartender, like, if she ever comes in again, call my sister and tell her to call my sponsor, or whatever.
Yeah, don't serve her.
Yeah, so she's making all these right choices. She's getting some hope back, and she's hoping for the best. But
a potential date coming up.
Yeah, she meets like another dog owner in the park, and maybe they hit it off a little bit. But it's all of this is, it's all about Ortega's story. Ortega's the main thrust of this issue, and he was the one who was being harassed with all the racist like comments from the other officers because he's Latino. And this issue, because he shot someone, like he shot a perp at the end of the last issue. All of a sudden, like, this one cop's really nice to him and says, we always give people shit when they first join, but you've kind of proven yourself now, and invites him to a get together. And Ortega
tells him to bring his family.
And he also says that part of it is that because Ortega had this therapy session, Ortega feels like, maybe I am bonding with them now, because now he sides with me over the therapist. The therapist is like, you need to have some time off. You need to like work at a desk for a while. Yeah. So that really sets up that mental state. And I had this really bad feeling, right? Because he's writing this journal throughout the issue that he keeps coming back to, and it sounds a little ominous. And when he takes his dad, who we know doesn't like that he's a cop, because his dad, has a very specific viewpoint of the police force. He takes his dad, and it's like, oh god, this is a prank or something. He's going to open the door to this place that he's invited to, and sure enough, there's no one there, but there's just a bunch of racist stuff. There's like sombreros, there's like a big sign saying Mexico this way, just shit like that. Just all over the place.
Bowls of like nachos, rice, beans.
Yeah, and the dad obviously is very angry and basically accuses his son of being pathetic because he's going to crawl back to them, and he's not accepting that he's a victim here. He's not accepting that these people don't respect them and all that stuff. And it's kind of interesting because there's a counterpoint during the issue where Park, on her new duties, that she's just like at crime scenes now, like just making sure people don't touch stuff. Like she's been given this sort of like crappy, not quite a desk job, but kind of
one step up.
Yeah, low on the totem pole. And she has this conversation with Ortega about how little they care about it now, like how they don't feel anything for these dead people, and how it's kind of bad that they're almost like the other officers are almost making them like hope for bad things to happen to bad people, and it's this dehumanization of where no, you should hope for the best in people, you should try and help, improve people, that kind of thing. But the system's almost like making them want to like just because the other cop in the crime scene's like sometimes like the streets take care of themselves, Like if one gang member kills another, it's one less gang member for us to worry about. There's that kind of attitude throughout. But anyway, it's all building up to this gut punch at the end where Ortega's writing this journal and he's talking about doing something. And I think like the red herring of it is you're kind of expecting it to like maybe he's going to actually fight back in the system. Like maybe he's going to actually like stand up for himself and fight back against these people who are oppressing him and just treating them awfully. And instead, he's taking drastic action in that he kills Montoya's like brother and like soon-to-be sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm. Just guns them down in the alley.
Just guns them down, and they're scared for a split second. And then the last page is him standing over their body, basically like, and the end of the journal is like, I'm going to ruin Montoya or something like that. And
it just says that, Montoya, I declare war on you.
There you go. And it's so hard hitting because I really didn't see it coming. Right, there was a bit of there's a bit of a feeling of like doom towards the end. It was effective, but I didn't necessarily think, oh, he's going to go after her family members.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was going to go take out on Montoya quite so personally. Like it felt like he's so, he talks, he's been crushed by the wall, the system of the police. And it's like, no, he's twisted that into, this is Montoya's system, so I'm going to take it out on her.
Yeah.
But, and that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a really tragic issue that he's become this. Like, this is what the system's forced him to, like, his mental state. Like,
in just a couple of months.
Yeah, and it's obviously you have these counterpoints where Eric's like, because Eric does have a scene where he's with Park, which is I think was what I was thinking about earlier. There's a scene where like they meet on like the steps, like outside their house or one of their places, and he's basically saying that he can't go to this because she's saying, "Oh, we need you there," like like you're a friend or whatever, and he's saying he can't. He has to stay away from this system. He has to be away from it. So I think between the three characters, you're seeing the different like possible outcomes. You're seeing someone who just like realizes they have to be away from it to be healthy. Parks, maybe, I mean, we don't really know yet what our outcome's going to be, but maybe she
seems to be just subjugated by the system. Like she's just she's just a cog in it now, right? She's a lower part, but she's just like accepted a place almost.
And then the extreme end is Ortega, which is like he has become like a monster because of like what he's been put through, and so this is not pulling punches, and I definitely did not see it going this way. This was a far more. This was kind of a left turn, and not in a bad way, but it was like a left turn where I was like, oh shit, this is where we're going with this now.
Yeah.
And it does a good job of like making you like, you've seen like these family members for Montoya in previous issues, but this issue does a really good job of her talking to them for advice multiple times. So they really feel like nice people. Like, so at the end of the issue, when they're just gunned down like this, you actually kind of get how much of a big deal it's going to be to Montoya that they're gone. It's not just Montoya hears at the end of the issue, oh, your brother that we've never seen before has been killed. It's like, no, this issue made it clear that he was a character, that it's someone that cares about Montoya, that she goes to talk to about her problems, and her soon-to-be sister-in-law. Really, really hard-hitting stuff, I thought, at the end of this.
Yeah, it was, let's say it was out of nowhere, but not in a way that it just seems like it's complete there just for shock value. There is a logical leap from what it was doing with the characters to that it makes sense with the progression, but it was still shocking that it just happened because it didn't feel like, as much as like you said, there was this underlying sense of doom with the journal entry that he's going to do something bad. I don't think this ever crossed anyone's mind as they were reading it.
I think part of it's because those two characters that he kills felt like they were like separate from all the cops. Like they felt like they were just part of Montoya's plot. They felt so separate and removed from any of the other characters that I don't think it ever occurred to me that they might ever even meet the other characters, because they felt, and that's just normal because they're part of Montoya's life. But here it was this shocking, oh no, they've been brought into it in the most tragic way possible. And I can't help but feel that, because Montoya, like, not only does she choose not to drink this episode, she chooses to lift the protective detail, or the surveillance on Two-Face. Like she chooses to make healthier decisions throughout this issue, and she is going to hit rock bottom again next issue. She's going to have everything pulled away from her, and the sad irony of it is that not so much Ortega specifically, but one of these rookie cops came to her for help, and she kind of like, well, I had to go through a lot of shit, so you're going to have to go through it too. And didn't try and like make things better for them.
Pretty much just this is what it is, and she obviously I think we spoke about this last time, but she could have done better. She could have been trying more, but she's not. She's not actively an awful person, clearly, but she is definitely not doing the most that she could be in her position, and he has taken this to an extreme level of, well, you should be, and this is a pretty shocking outcome for it to get to, but it's going to be I think this is 6 issues, right? This mini, it's going to be an interesting couple of issues to see how it delves into, Renee's outcome to this.
And this is the sort of thing with Renee being the commissioner at Gotham, and obviously that's referenced in other books. Like, I have to imagine this might get referenced with Montoya and other books in the future. This feels like a bit, in the same way that people like to reference what happened to her with Two-Face in No Man's Land, this has to come up. Like, that her, her close family was gunned down like this.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be. It's like a major moment in her history now, right? Like immediately.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, unless they retcon it, but I hope they don't, because it.
Like I said, the only way you can retcon it is by telling us they're not dead, but they also look pretty dead. Like,
yeah, they're lying there with bullet holes. Like, their eyes are wide open. There's bullet holes all over their chests. Like, they're dead.
Yeah, like if you hadn't seen that very last page, there's blood. You see the hand. You could sell it that okay, they took some gunshots. They took a gunshot each maybe, but they get rushed to hospital or whatever. You can buy it. I think after that last page, there's no going back from that. And I think I've not loved all of Ridley's work. I think this is probably the thing I've enjoyed most from him. But he has never seemed like the kind of writer to go back on his decisions to pull those fake outs.
Yeah, I think what this book tells me is that Ridley, I think I enjoy when it's leaning away from superhero stuff. Like, I think the stuff I liked about his Batman stuff, like when it became more of an ongoing Batman book, I started to not be as into it, and I think it was because of the superheroic side of it that I wasn't feeling. Whereas this, I think, when it becomes to, like, he's talking about these tough subject that he obviously cares about, deeply. He's trying to say something, and then you've just got like more of a character drama and thriller with these characters sort of going down these dark paths. I think this is like, certainly just from this example anyway. Like, I'm really digging this.
Yeah, I agree. It seems to be where his strengths lie. I suspect maybe he just doesn't find the actual superheroics, the action sequences, quite as interesting, which is fair.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if we do get some sort of follow up to this. Maybe like just a Montoya mini or something that he'll do, or something that can naturally follow on to explore the outcomes of this. Maybe not. It may just be a one and done. But
yeah, we'll have to see kind of how it ends, right? It really depends where he leaves it.
But if they want to they'll give him kind of like a sort of mini Tom King treatment, where they keep just giving him nice minis that play to his strengths. Where, here, do, I don't know what examples.
I know I said in the first issue of this that this felt like a pseudo sequel to Gotham Central. I can definitely see this kind of being expanded on into another, more of this, following cops doing a Gotham Central thing.
Yeah.
Like whether that's an ongoing or just more minis. I can see I'm doing more of this for sure.
Yeah, I'd be all for it. Yeah.
I think you can even put him on a Batman book, but I think instead of the one he did, I think you have to give him Batman and do it as a detective story.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. All right, what are you giving the Blue Wall?
It's a 9. I probably would have said like an 8, an 8.5 before those last few pages, and then just the gut punch of it kind of bumped it up.
Because it did such a good job of making you like those two other characters, but not making it feel like they're in danger the whole time. So that really did hit hard.
It just felt like really natural people in the scenes that they're in.
Yeah. I think I'll agree with the 9. Really good stuff.